Android tablets have had a bit of a rough go. Sure, there have been many options over the years, but they've struggled to get the same software support as the likes of the iPad, despite the fact that they've got as good hardware and better customer choice. Well, after using the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 Ultra for a while, I'm here to report that things aren't changing much. But that doesn't mean that the Galaxy Tab S9 Ultra isn't for you. In fact, it very well could be, with a few caveats. And when it comes down to it, the tablet is probably the single best Android tablet out there, immediately making it a top pick for those who want something that works flawlessly with their other Android and Google devices. Here's a deeper look. If you love tech like me and want more videos like this, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps support my work and I'd appreciate that support. When I first took the Galaxy Tab S9 Ultra out of the box, I was struck by how huge the tablet really is. It's massive. With a 14.6-inch display on the front, the tablet really is one of the biggest out there right now. The huge size allows for the internal components to be a little more spread out, which in turn means that the device can be super thin. And thin it truly is. The Galaxy Tab S9 Ultra measures in at an impressive 5.5mm thick, and it really feels like it in the hand. There is one design touch that I was a little amused to see again. Like the Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra, the Tab S9 Ultra has a notch in the display, something that Samsung once mocked Apple for. It really is true that while Samsung may mock Apple for something at first, eventually it'll embrace the Apple way. That said, like most other devices, the notch was easy to ignore, and most of the time you'll forget it exists. The other design touches are more or less to be expected. The tablet has a USB-C port on the bottom or right side, depending on the orientation, along with a power button and volume rocker on the right side. On the back can be found the dual camera array, like on the front, hidden under that notch. In the hands, the tablet truly feels like a premium product. It really just feels like you're holding a giant slab of glass, which is pretty nice. The screen on the tablet is probably my favorite thing about it. It's stunning. As mentioned, the display sits in at a massive 14.6 inches, and it has an impressive 1848 by 2960 resolution and 120Hz refresh rate. It's an OLED screen, meaning that you'll get those inky blacks, making for a more natural looking image overall. It isn't an LTPO display that can scale its refresh rate between 1Hz and 120Hz like the Galaxy S23 Ultra, but that's not something that we would expect on huge screens like that on the Tab S9 Ultra just yet. The display looks great. It's vibrant and detailed and a pleasure to watch movies on. It also gets super bright, and I found that it was pretty easy to see the screen even in brighter environments. Speakers are a point of improvement for the tablet over the last generation model too. Samsung says the speakers are 20% larger than the Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra, which means that it should be able to produce better bass. That's a bit hard to verify, especially given the fact that I don't have a Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra at hand. But I can say that the speakers indeed sound great. They get very loud and produce solid bass for built-in speakers, and pretty good detail in the high end too. If you're buying a big tablet for media consumption, then you'll love what's on offer by the speakers here. Most people, of course, will be buying this tablet for its huge size, but secondary could be performance. That's especially true if you're looking for a device that you can use for work, and not just entertainment. Thankfully, the tablet performs excellently. That's largely thanks to the fact that it comes with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset, Qualcomm's latest and greatest. That's coupled with an impressive 12 or 16GB of RAM. In day-to-day use, the tablet performed flawlessly. It handled multitasking exceedingly well, and games loaded quickly. I never ran into a stutter or lag, and while my work mainly consisted of writing on the tablet, managing emails, and other relatively basic tasks, it never caused an issue. Safe to say, if you're looking for a high-performing tablet, then you can't do much better than the Galaxy Tab S9 Ultra without venturing into the world of the iPad, which does ultimately perform better. I should note that while Samsung sent me the tablet, it didn't send me a keyboard to test with it. So while I did connect a Bluetooth keyboard to the device for testing, I didn't really use it like a laptop. Powering it all is a monster 11,200 mAh battery, and I found that the device offered a pretty good battery life overall. Of course, the huge battery has to power the also huge display with a high refresh rate, so while the battery is large, it doesn't result in a monster battery life. But it does make for a good battery life. Most users that use their device for entertainment and occasional work will get through a few days of use, though heavier users may need to charge more often. Speaking of charging, the tablet has an okay charging speed of 45 watts, but that can take a while to charge a device this size. There are plenty of manufacturers that have moved on to faster charging speeds, and while I don't expect Samsung to adopt the massive 240 watt speed of the likes of Realme, I do wish that it stepped things up to at least 60 watts or so. On the back of the Galaxy Tab S9 Ultra can be found a dual camera array, made up of one 13 megapixel wide camera and one 8 megapixel ultra wide. Any tablet can be awkward to take photos with, but considering its size, this tablet is especially unwieldy. If you do end up using the Tab S9 Ultra to take photos, you'll find that it does just fine. Photos are relatively vibrant and detailed, and while you won't get the same versatility that you'll get on one of Samsung's higher-end phones, the camera on the back is good. Perhaps more important is the quality of the camera on the front. The front-facing camera system offers a 12-megapixel main camera and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera, and the result is that you'll get a good video chatting experience overall, whether alone or in a group. Then there's the software experience on the device, and it's pretty much what you would expect. The tablet offers Samsung's One UI operating system, and if you've used a Samsung device before, you know what to expect. You'll find Samsung's slate of apps on the tablet, and I found that it was pretty good at offering multitasking tools. The standout feature here is DeX Mode, which rearranges the software to look like a desktop instead of a tablet. It actually works pretty well most of the time, though I mostly use the tablet as a tablet instead of a computer. The biggest drawback of DeX Mode is the limited developer support for Android in general. While DeX itself can feel like you're using a computer, fire up a few apps and you'll realize that you're still really using mobile apps. There are some solid Android apps for tablets, but there are still plenty of apps that are simply built for phones, and in 2023 still haven't been optimized for tablets. It seems like Google may be working on improving this by prioritizing Google Play listings for apps that are optimized for tablets, and the advent of foldables might entice some developers to work on things a little. But in the meantime, for certain apps, you'll be stuck with a huge screen phone experience. So, in the end, at $1,200, who is the Galaxy Tab S9 Ultra for? Well, it's a little hard to say. It's a great tablet, to be sure, but it's also huge and expensive. Most average buyers who want to stick to Android will want to go for something like the standard Galaxy Tab S9, especially for things like watching movies and playing games in bed. If, however, you truly want the laptop experience in a device that can detach into a high-end tablet experience, then the Galaxy Tab S9 Ultra may be worth considering. That's especially true for those who want that huge screen, as that's the main reason to buy this tablet over any of the lower-end Samsung tabs. Though, you'll have to be comfortable with the fact that, even with DeX, at its heart, the device is still running Android and not a true desktop operating system. You can get the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 Ultra for yourself using the link in the description. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!